Aries, hello and welcome to your Spring 2024 Shapeshift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the spring season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and I'm joined today by this beautiful new set from James R. Eads. It's called The Green Glyphs, and it is 4 separate decks. We have a runes deck and dice set. We have Lenormand, tarot, and an oracle deck that James created. So we are going all in. We're using all 4 decks, the full set, to look at your shapeshift for the spring. Because it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Aries. All right, so let's just get right into it here. I'm going to start by rolling some rune dice. And we're going to explore this amazing set together. Okay. Cool. All right, give me a minute to find the appropriate rune cards, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Okay, Aries, so let's take a look at the runes you received together. So we're starting off here with Gebu. Gebu, you're seeing some sort of, looks like a paintbrush maybe, or an ink pen being extended in these hands, and it's a symbol of giving a gift or some sort of exchange. It can be like exchanging, giving and receiving of gifts, but it can also be like gifts in the sense of talents and skill sets, exchanging some sort of experience. It could even indicate a contract, but coupled with the next one, Berkana. Berkana is like the beginning, the burst of creation, the onset of life. And so the combination of this is like the gift of new life, the gift of a new beginning. And it could be literal for you, Aries, this season. You could experience some sort of give and take or exchange of energy that brings you new life. But essentially, this is the gift of a new beginning, which is so needed. And the next card here is one of the Anglo-Saxon runes, by the way, so it's not part of that very commonly used Futhark of the runes. So this is Os, and it is the power of words, movements, poetry, song, and speaking through the divine. So I'm less familiar with the Anglo-Saxon runes, so I'll read a little bit here. Os is the rune of the divine word and is symbolic of communication through speaking or singing or poetry. It's our connection to divine consciousness and materializes on earth in the form of creativity. It is also known as the rune of the bard, hence the symbolic nature of song, poetry, and the power of words through creative expression. Okay, so the combination of these first 3 runes bodes really beautifully for a new burst of creativity for you this spring. It makes sense. It's your birthday season. In at least, parts of the world here, winter is easing up and the season of new life and new growth and sunshine starts to come back in, and maybe that starts to awaken some of that creativity and those creative juices. And it could even be like some sort of exchange of song, working with others, or exchanging talents, poetry, skills in writing, skills in creating and art making. Something here is burgeoning with new life, new creativity, and it's absolutely a gift. And especially in times of the final rune, which we have Nautis. Let me just make sure I'm pronouncing that right here. Okay. Yep, Nautis. It translates literally to need fire. the fire of needing or being in need. And it's essentially talking about struggles and hard times and the needs, the desperate needs that arise in times of struggle, times of scarcity, constraint, hardship. These are the basic necessities that are suddenly so precious and we no longer take advantage of when we are so deep in times of struggle and obstacle and hardship. Okay, so boom, Aries, coming in really, really strong in your season with hard times and acknowledging that part of basic human needs being met in times of hardship and struggle has to do with generating creativity, creative energy, aliveness, coming together with others to make things and share talents and share the exchange of energy to remember that like very nascent sense of why we're alive and to feel a sense of hope, I think, that comes with new beginnings, with like a sudden burst of energy again, like, oh, okay, I've been here for so long and suddenly it's like manna from heaven, like suddenly I am alive again. That one little drop of honey brings so much life. Is such a gift, Gabu. Okay, let's look a little bit here at the Lenormand set and see if we can get a little more literal in terms of how these runes might show up for you in your shapeshift this spring. And I want to say too, the way the runes speak, and since we're starting with runes, it's less of a linear shapeshift of like you're shifting in out of this and into that. That's actually not how these cards are working, I'm realizing. It's just showing you an overall vibe of the spring. So keep that perspective zoomed out. I think that'll be more useful for us. Okay, hold on. All right. Help us see how these runes are showing up for Aries this spring. Birds, mice. And if you all don't know, Lenormand is a very different way of reading cards. It's a completely different set of meanings than tarot. So we're going rogue. Don't worry, there's tarot in here too, and we'll get to that next. Okay, any other Lenormand messages for Aries? The immediate, like, intuitive sense I'm getting, because mice can talk about decay, like something slowly dying or kind of decaying right under your nose or right under your feet. This like idea of slowly eating away at it. And then the birds is like a chattery, social energy. So there's like a lot of talk socially right now of the slow decay of our society here in America anyway. And like the things are breaking down, things are no longer working. Okay. Okay, and then we got bear and we got a wounded albatross. So let's consult the guidebook here and see what literal meanings we can get, and I'll put it up for you. You can take a look at how this is showing up. Already the colors are interacting in this really interesting way. We have that same like red on the horizon in the Naughties showing up in this wounded albatross card and the mice card. So this is talking about, you know, I feel like the birds are talking about this like struggle Naughties, and it's showing up as the mice and the albatross. So why don't we start Okay, let's look at birds. Talking, communication, nervousness, gossip, speculation. So there's all of this like nervous speculation about these mice. Okay, the things that are decaying, that are dying, diminishment, depletion, worries, loss, disease, a lessening of something, something becoming smaller. So it's essentially just like all of the social climate is a flutter, so to speak, with talking about how hard things are becoming and how things are kind of slowly depleting, slowly diminishing. Inflation is so high that us here in America, we can barely afford to live. The bank accounts are dwindling. The questions of like, is the market gonna crash, and are the banks gonna go under? So this is essentially like the climate that we're in, the context. Things are dwindling and your world is all aflutter about it. And that's all anyone can seem to talk about. So let's look at bear. So the bear says power, leadership, mother, grandmother, matriarch, protective energy, boss energy, strength energy. So then we have this like really protective mama bear coming in here with a whole lot of strength and a whole lot of power, which seems very, very needed in the time of struggle. And let's just look at the albatross before we say anything else. This is also the cross card, by the way, in the Lenormand canon. So it's essentially a challenge. You know, it's indicating like burden, challenge, responsibility, duty, difficulty, a warning or a harbinger of challenges and struggles. So amidst all of this, amidst all of, the context that is showing up in these cards is showing us like the world that we're in, where everybody's talking about how hard things have become and how it's dwindling, and it can't possibly continue to go on this way. Like something has to break, something's got to give. And I don't know about socially, but I think for you, Aries, the thing that has to give is some sort of like outlet for your creative expression, or like even maybe it's even the gift of the spring season and the return of sunshine and the return of like seeing green things growing again all around you gives you this burst of life and the energy to create amidst the struggle that is sort of like flitting and floating and becoming this really intense force all around you. It's almost like this, I keep getting this image of like you as this singular person, which actually you're not. You're very much in community and connection with others. So like us as a group, maybe here, while like the mice are eating away at things from like pulling the rug out from under us, and the birds are twitting all around, and these like really big forces are sort of almost like eating away at the fabric of the reality we have known for so long. And then here you are in the midst of it, though, gathered around a circle, holding hands together and like making art and creating and like expressing yourself through that. And the gift of being able to access creativity in such a time of struggle is what this reading is all about. And that is such a strong, powerful force and way to use your voice at this time. Because art moves the human spirit. It's interesting, like the bear under Os, it's this almost art as protection. maybe even community art making. And remember, Asa's really, it does talk about creativity and poetry and song, but essentially it's talking about the power of the word, the power of your voice. And then we have this mama bear growling, raising her voice. To rise through and above the struggle and all of the chitter chatter around that struggle. Okay, we're gonna move on and pull some more cards now. I'm gonna use the tarot deck, James's tarot deck, and also oracle deck. So we're going to keep clarifying this. If this is resonating for you so far and you'd like to see the rest, click the link in the description of this video and that will take you to the shifting space where we investigate these card readings all together as a community throughout the season. So if that's something that's interesting to you and you want to see the rest of the reading, we'll see you over there. Okay, Aries, let's get into some tarot.